What's going on, you bunch of heathens? Today, we're going to be checking out another SunnyV2 video about Joe Rogan and when he beefed with his dad. Honestly, I had never heard anything about this, so this seemed interesting. So let's jump into it.
When Joe exposed his own terrible father,
my real father was crazy. He was like a psychotic person.
It strangely became a TikTok beef.
You lied about me. Your father. You owe me a big apology.
You'll need a bit of context. Joe was born in August 1967 to Joseph Rogan
Why
Sr.
would I want
and
to
his
apologize
mother,
to you?
Susan Lembo. As a child, Joe thought his dad was awesome.
Well, at the time, I thought that my father was like a hero. I think every kid thinks like that about his dad, especially if your dad is like an imposing.
Yeah, no, I think most people, I know, I still, I don't know whether it's hero or not, but no, I still definitely at least respect my dad and everything he's done for us and everything. So yeah, I think that's a pretty normal sentiment to have about your father, especially when you're younger.
Figure.
But at the age of only 5, his parents got divorced, at which point Joe and his mother moved to San Francisco, where she remarried, giving Joe a stepdad. Meanwhile, his biological father, Joseph Rogan Sr., lived his own separate life as a cop in New Jersey, leading him and Joe to completely lose contact. But as he entered his teens, Joe realized his father wasn't exactly a hero. In a 2015 Rolling Stone interview, Joe explained, "All I remember of my dad," he says, "are these brief violent flashes of domestic violence. But I don't want to complain about my childhood. Nothing bad ever really
sucks.
happened to me. It was just
If that's true, you know. If that's true, that really does suck.
Guy. After the split, we moved to San Francisco and that was it. Never heard from him again." It was further mentioned that Joe really would rather not discuss the topic, made apparent by its lack of discussion on the podcast. For the first 4 years of the Joe Rogan experience, he never once mentioned his biological father. But all of this changed on.
To be fair, this is the first time I fucking hear about it now.
Expose exactly who his father
Then again, I'm not really a big
All
Joe
my
Rogan
damn
fan.
Shit came from my real father before I was 7. My real father was crazy. He was like a psychotic person.
He explained some of the worst things that his dad had done.
He beat the out of my mother.
Like he would be the type to come
he
home
beat
like,
the out of my cousin.
Really?
Yeah, he beat my cousin up. He picked my cousin
So
up
like
by
a
his
real
hair,
piece of shit.
Threw him in. He was a big guy, big, scary, crazy.
So
cop
full on
from New
piece of
Jersey. I got
shit
to see
kind of
worst
dude.
case scenario. Someone who just can't keep it together, smacks women, beats the shit out of kids.
Further adding in the Rolling Stone interview, when I was 5, I had a fight with one of my cousins. Punched him in the face over something stupid. My dad pulled me aside and I told him the truth of what happened. He said, "Did you cry?" I said, "No." He said, "Good, don't ever cry." I mean, he was happy that I punched my cousin.
He didn't give a that I was in a fight. He just wanted to make sure there was no crying bitches in the street. It was intense.
That's not fucking healthy at all. Like I get the whole thought process because I'm like this with my nephews of where if you're in a fight or anything or someone's fucking with you and there's no other option, then lay their ass out. But to not care at all that he was in a fight, especially with like his cousin, and is only worried whether or not you cried, that's not good. That's not good whatsoever.
Not great advice for a 5-year-old.
I was punching everybody after that.
Oh,
I was
and
like,
at
all right,
5
you're
of all
getting punched.
things.
It was so stupid. It was like the worst way of raising a child ever.
At this point, however, Joe was barely famous, and as a result, his father won't respond directly to the allegations. All he will say is, "I don't talk about people the way they talk about me. That's not in my DNA. What's gone is gone." Despite his father denying the allegations, Joe had
your
clearly
DNA is
been through
technically in
something.
his
There's something
DNA,
about, like,
so
seeing, someone you're close to who's an adult beating up like a 10 or 11-year-old. You ever see that before?
To the extent that it changed who Joe was as a person.
Is there a violent person in there?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of violence in me for sure. I don't know if it's genetic or learned or.
Your mom and dad broke up early on. Is it connected to the dad at all?
I'm sure it's connected to him also because he was violent and it made me feel very scared to be around him. But I also think it's connected in who he was as a human is transferred into my DNA.
In the meantime, Joseph Rogan Sr. had 2 twin daughters.
yeah, I can see that. I think there was a study or something like that. I won't bring it up because I don't want to be wrong about this. So ignore what I said. But yeah, I can see why he would. I could see him at least being scared that he'll become that kind of person.
daughters, automatically making them Joe Rogan's half-sisters. One of them told the Daily Mail, "I was 19 years old when my father told me about Joe Jr. He was not even famous yet. He was a comedian and did a show called News Radio. We looked him up on the computer and emailed him asking to meet and explained that his father would also like to meet him. Joe did respond, but not kindly. He referred to my father as a sperm donor, so my sister and I backed off and never emailed him again."
Yeah, I can see that. I can see why you would do that. You split when I was 7. From Joe's recollection, you weren't a fucking good dad. You know, beating up on his mom and his cousin and all that kind of shit. According to him, at least, I can see him calling him a sperm donor because it's just, no, you're not my dad. We don't talk. So yeah, I can see that. I would say I personally would probably want to at least meet my sisters. Not my dad, but them. I can see them getting such a harsh response back, wanting to not interact.
Joe clearly had no interest in reuniting with his father.
Did you ever want to meet your dad? Did you ever? See, you know what's funny? My mom...
I met him. I knew him until I was like 6.
Instead, using the experience as a learning lesson.
It made me realize that you can't count on people, but you can count on
trust
some people.
issues,
but
man.
I definitely had
That's
trust issues for a long
right
time,
there.
But become someone.
It's like
that
almost
people count on.
textbook.
But while Joe thought his dad wouldn't see what he had
trust
said,
issues.
My parents, but like regular people,
Your
no.
parents don't listen to this show. They got shit to do.
No, they don't. But if they did, they're boomers. They're
course.
full on.
It turns out Joe Rogan Sr. had always been watching. Conveniently after Joe
I mean,
had
he
made
looks like a
hundreds of
fucking
millions of
boomer.
dollars, his father and half-sister went public via TikTok.
So for all you Joe Rogan fans out there, Joe's been telling his side of the story for 27 plus years. Now it's time for the original Rogans to tell our side of the story.
Well, I mean, you're younger than him, so you're not the original Rogan. His dad, sure, you can argue that. But you're not the original. Also, it could just be shitty timing or whatnot, but it's always rubs me the wrong way whenever it's like, oh yeah, he just came into a bunch of money and now we're going to come out with it. That's totally not fucking sus whatsoever. I mean, get fucking real. I'm instantly going to fucking look at your story differently if the person you're talking about just came into a bunch of money.
It begins with Joseph Sr. first calling his son out.
Lied about me. Your father. Tired of it, Joe. I just had enough. You couldn't handle me. 81 years old. You couldn't handle this guy right here. And when you said I beat up kids, I beat up other...
I mean, I wouldn't exactly call he can't handle you at 81. No, it's more along the lines of he couldn't handle you when he was a child and you were a grown adult. That's not what he was trying to say whatsoever. You're missing the point. You're basically, you better be being intentionally obtuse about it.
The women. How could I get away with that? You lie. We all know you lie.
I'm sorry, how can you get away? Bitch, Joe Rogan was, what did it say, 1967? So when he was 7, 84, bullshit. You could easily get away with that kind of shit. Easy. People still get away with it now. The fuck you mean? How could I get away with it? Bullshit. Fuck you, old man. Don't say that kind of shit. Now I definitely fucking am sus of him. No, of course you could get away with it. The fuck does that mean?
Lie. You owe me a big apology.
Whilst his half-sister supported that their dad did nothing wrong.
Joe, you were taken away at a very young age. Unfortunately, you did not get to grow up with the man that we were fortunate enough to grow up with, that my kids are fortunate enough to grow up with.
They try to make it seem like they simply wanted to talk.
Come here.
I mean, personally, it doesn't sound like they really want to fucking talk. You were taken away at a young age. Yeah, my parents split. For a reason, I'm assuming. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
sit down and me and you talk. That's it. I won't tell nobody what was said. I'm a stand-up guy. I ain't like you making up stories so I can make money.
However, money seemed like the more obvious motive.
You got all the money, everything, but you know what you don't have? You ain't got 2 balls.
I love when I see the comments. They just want the money. They want the money bag. I have a box, Pandora's box. And if I open it, Joe, things would get really ugly.
The video concluded.
What? So you're saying you have something that could damage Joe? Okay. Open it then. If it's really that bad and you're not about the money, then open it. When you say it's not about the money, you mean it's about the money.
With his father stating this.
Family is everything.
Leading him and the daughter to get mercilessly roasted. Family is everything. The guy who left his kid.
Yeah.
Son, now that you're worth 500 million, I want to fix our relationship. His dad was silent for 27 years about this. He conveniently waited until Joe Rogan.
Yeah, no, I don't like him. That's not what I like to hear.
To come back into his life and square everything up. If it was about blood, he would have been there 50 years ago making things right. Despite the heavy backlash, Joe's family doubled down, stating on a press tour, "Growing up, my sister and I just had such a happy childhood."
You keep saying this. Are both sisters in on this? Because I'm only seeing the one sister. And you're doing a press tour? Really?
Childhood. I just can't tell everyone enough what a great father we have. God has blessed us, she said. My father has never been violent ever. That is why Joe Jr.'s claims are such a shock to us. My father has never even raised his voice to us. He is the epitome of a wonderful father. However, a podcast episode they did shortly after again portrayed the opposite. Joseph Sr. introduced his son like this.
As he was growing up, what did you notice in Joe?
He was soft.
Soft?
Yeah.
It's soft in what way, sir?
He wouldn't get involved with people, and he wasn't
he was soft.
Kid.
And then proceeded to state.
Everybody out there, I'm going to tell you straight up, Joe's full of shit in plain English. He went to drama school. You can see he's a drama queen. Everything is...
Wow. What a amazing sentiment to have about your kid that you're trying to, reconcile with. He's soft. Like, that's such a fucking standard boomer fucking toxic parent mentality.
Drama to him.
If he's that crazy at 81, I can only imagine when he was 40. He then
I can only imagine what the fuck he's like when he's crying.
Sugar in his tank?
I'll bet on that.
Did you see signs of that when he was young?
Long time ago.
Did he ever show interest in girls?
I'm sorry. Let me go back. Look at how smug she looks. Not here. Right before this.
I'll bet on that.
Did you see...
Look at that fucking smug face. God. That's such a fucking smug looking face. And then, what?
I didn't see him much since he was 7 years old. I didn't even know what the girl was.
But it was clear that his father...
So, you're claiming your son is gay, as if that's a bad thing. But you're claiming he's gay, and then when he asks, did you see signs of that? Oh, I last saw him when he was 7. I doubt he knew what a girl was. So how the fuck can you claim he's gay? The fuck do you mean?
Father was simply bitter.
I think the wrong thing they did was give him that #1 over his head. If you look at his head, it got bigger. His head got bigger than his head.
Despite this, Joseph Sr. still wanted to meet his son.
You seem to have gotten a bigger head.
I'm 80 years old.
You seem to have gotten a bigger head the second he got that, and you started doing press and shit.
With him because he needs to listen to my side of the story. However, calling Joe out made this way less likely. Because recently, when Bert Kreischer asked Joe about his father, Joe refused to give the topic attention.
Wait, is your dad still alive? Yeah. Is your dad still alive?
Yeah, allegedly.
Positively, however, it's made Joe a better person.
Because I watch my kids I watch them, I talk to them,
yeah,
I communicate.
I don't blame Joe for not wanting to fucking
to be a good dad.
deal with that.
Them, treating them like I'm not just their dad, but also I'm their friend and I care about them.
Yeah, that's a great fucking mentality to have as a parent. Like, no, I am your parent, but also you can come talk to me. You're not alone type shit. Amazing. Well, that was SunnyV2 when Joe Rogan beefed with his father on YouTube. Honestly, I'm more inclined to believe Joe over the dad. The timing and everything, and how they handled it, super fucking weird. I only saw the one sister. I kind of want to know what the other sister thinks about it, but I'm also not going to fucking dig much deeper into it. But anyway, if you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe if you want to keep seeing me. And until next time, take care of yourselves, and you guys have a good holiday.
Just pop a kidney, I bought a million option of the suck and I stop doing the grim and I rock. Arenas bringing the piss and bumping the pack in the car, pretending I got all the eyes on me. Got a bad baby and she's in the band, and too many people other than me that's seeking attention. And they want me, but the groove is man, I should at least stand. And the smell of the money must